Hello everyone, Chrisa is here, and today is going to be our last video on the embrace. We're going to be doing a little bit more dancing, and we're going to start with, we're going to be using basic modules, just exploring how that push and pull and that suspension that we've been working on, really how it feels when you're working with these really tango fundamentals, meaning walks, rebounds, pivots, and ochos, forward and back. So that's what we're going to be exploring today. And by the end of the video, I'm going to invite you to just dance along with me. Hopefully you will have some sturdy partner that can help you out with that, or an actual real partner. So with no further ado, here we go. So we're going to be putting together this element of suspension and with our back steps to start. And I want you to really feel what you see in this video. What you see in this video is the movement chain between the push and the pull and the creation of the step. So you can see that pressing into my artificial partner, I'm not moving away, falling back. I am absorbing and transmitting this energy through the elbows and the shoulders into the rest of the body and transforming it into a step. So I'm taking an action. So it's absorption and creation of movement. So how do we manage this? Staying there with our partner, this exact moment. Now, this is the moment of connection. Staying there with a partner, not falling away, but at the same time moving. So, and on top of it, not being stiff in the embrace. So the first check is when you hit this position, can you relax the chest? So is that, can you shimmy a little bit like I did just there? So that would mean that you can give more into the hug. So that would be the first test. The second test is if you are relaxed in the rest of the body. So if you can feel that your hips can move a little bit and you're not stuck in this position. Feeling stuck is no good because we don't want to hold it. We want to move, right? And we want to move a little bit faster, like I'm doing here. So the idea is how this gentle pressure is getting into the legs through the spine. And here the legs are actually playing a very important role, where if you go back to moving a little bit slower, you want to feel that the movement is happening through the source of the movement is the psoas, and that kicks our spine into position. So instead of activating the quads to bend the knee and push back, we want to activate the psoas that links all the way up into the middle of our spine, approximately the middle. And especially when you're going fast, that swing should be free, happening from the psoas and not from the legs. So if we're gonna see more of it here in the rebounds, which is another classic tango element. So if I don't use the psoas, if I don't make use of that mighty muscle that is lengthy at the same time as strong, and connects the hips with with the anatomical center, as we call it in Access syllabus. So this muscle has because it connects the lower body with the upper body. The moment it is engaged for the step, it creates this angular position in the spine. So without me having to create it all over, so from zero. So this is one problem solved, and then how you manage that, the transmission of the energy through the arms, is the next part, the next part of the work to be done. So we have two parts. One, finding that psoas, that muscle that we have been talking about for in many different ways through many different exercises, that connects the hip with the anatomical center, which is where your thoracic spine changes into lumbar, and which is where leaders, you focus your mind when you're leading. And then to connect the pressure that, or the pull that you need to create as a leader or a follower, through the elbows and shoulders into that same spot. So you can avoid situations such as this. You can see how my body is like sort of moving away from the shoulders, or moving away completely from the elbows and creating that a lot of tension. So you don't want that. You want, see how the whole system now moves together. It's not that I'm moving away from the frame like I was doing in the first bad example, or taking the whole frame and my partner with me. So it is a a movement chain that we want to create from the bouncing toes to the bouncing feet. So you can see there is this whole um, uh, the suspension is the main characteristic of this step, and there is the suspension. You can see it in that heel that's trying to get down to the floor as we rebound back, but also into the hands as they create that little bounce to send us back and invite us forward, and also into the spine, because you can see that it's not staying um, static and just moving forward and back. It is participating, and it is having just a little bit of a wave, as you can see, with a little bit of a twist, and a little bit of a side bend. So there are a lot of things that are coming in, but it's definitely not square, and it's definitely not stiff and tensed. The same applies for the pivots, of course. Only here we have a torsion, and one side, I'm going and I'm exaggerating this a lot. So one hand will be doing something different from the other. So one would be pulling and the other one would be pushing. And you can see it like I'm trying to exaggerate my hands when I'm pushing the palm, my fingertips are facing up. When I'm pulling, I'm grabbing onto the bar so you guys can see. And I suggest that you start slow, like I did, and then feel as if you are, in order to pivot, as if you're bouncing between the two hands. One is grabbing, one is pushing, one is grabbing, one is pushing, and that is what creates this torsion. So let's start slowly. See, I'm pulling with the right hand, pressing with the left, and now I'm reversing. Press with the right. You can't see it, but I'm pulling with the left. So I'm starting slow, and then I'm starting to pick it up. So as you will see, and I invite you to do exactly the same thing. So as you can see, there is still this idea of absorbing with the elbow. You can see, and then with the shoulder, and then taking it into the body. We want to connect the dots through movement, and you want to feel this connection. So you don't have to stay stiff between the two arms. Let's see it from this perspective. So this is what I was trying to describe. One hand pressing, the other pulling, and I'm exaggerating, so my fingertips are facing up when I'm pressing. And now see, when I'm going faster, it is actually not, I'm not actually locking the frame. On the contrary, I'm still playing with this push and pull, and I'm allowing for my elbows to slightly absorb but not collapse. So I'm not collapsing in the frame. I am using the elbows to absorb this lead, let's put it in quote, and then take it into the shoulders, and from the shoulders into the anatomical center, and from there into the foot that is pivoting around. You will also notice that the body is not is not staticky as it's turning around, meaning that there is a little bit of a side bend, so I'm not square, and the hips are also going in slightly in a wave. So you will be able to see this a little bit more here when we're putting these two elements together, and I really want you to feel how this invite to move forward comes from the hand into the shoulder, into the elbow, into the shoulder, into the base. And then from here, let's see how this invite from the hands goes into the hips, and this is a different position. Let's see how it is different from the position that we are, the initial position for the ocho, this one. So it's a different position from the spine, and we need to get from this extension to flexion, because flexion allows us to pivot a little bit more, to dissociate, and again in quotes, a little bit more, and pivot with more security. So we start over. There's a wave in the spine that is reflecting into that gentle kick of the leg. This extension now, this full extension, will have to change into a slight flexion when we go around. So not extended anymore, but we're getting there. So there is these interconnected movements. How the invite from the hand, it is absorbed from the whole body, and it is and it changes into a step through the feet. And then how the biomechanics of a step actually allow us, if we take a closer look, as we have been doing the last the last couple of months. So how that allows us to secure a frame that allows for efficient leading and following. And when we say efficient, we don't only speak about how this movement that we see doesn't require extra energy, doesn't require us to tense up and push and pull and squeeze and press. And this is how these ochos now should be feeling, that everything is working together. The right hand with the left hand, the two hands with the frame with the center of the body with the feet, and vice versa. Now, not only that, but also how the connection between the two partners, the leader and the follower, can be more efficient. So there are no glitches in the communication. And this is something that this is the extra bonus of this work. And it doesn't matter if you're a leader or a follower, if you're doing a lot of ochos or not a lot of ochos, whatever it is, but you want to practice this no glitch self-lead or self-follow, whichever way you want to see it. So establishing a communication with yourself, you can put that as a base for a communication with your partner. So if you actually have a partner, this would be ideal. You can start from the bar, and then you can try it with another person. But it is in these moments where we're working alone, trying to find that perfect moment. This is also trying to find the perfect moment to step, where you have that push that changes into a kick, or a swing, and that takes you into the step. So, or this perfect moment of that push and pull from the hands that gives you that nice smooth pivot. You're trying to find that perfect moment that might be, it will be slightly different from what you see in me, because I'm, a different person from you. But once you find it, then you can share that with your partner. And of course, there, during the communication, during the dance, there might need to be some adjustments, but at least you're starting from a very connected point, and not a point where your upper body is doing something and your lower body is dealing with something else. So the result, we're looking for smooth ochos, going from, passing from the pivot to the step without any glitch, and connecting the power of the arms through the frame, through the anatomical center to the feet.